Hi everybody, this is your Digital Super Saiyan 3 back with another video. You know, back in the early 2000s in my childhood, I have watched the Toonami action block. It was entertaining as hell, and one of the cornerstones of it? Well, Dragon Ball Z being the key word here. Dragon Ball Z has been one of the most ongoing anime franchises of all time, / Dragon Ball franchise. Just the Dragon Ball franchise as a whole has been going on for a long time. So, I was inspired to do this countdown by Geekdom 101 of my top 10 favorite Dragon Ball Z episodes. Now, I do have 2 episodes lumped together in one entry, because it does tell important parts of the series. So this is my 2 cents in of my personal favorite episodes of Dragon Ball Z. So this is my top 10 Dragon Ball Z episodes. Number 10 is Dragon Ball Z episode 125, Goku's Ordeal. Episode 125, to put it simply, well, Goku and Piccolo go to get their driver's license. Basically, all throughout this episode, at the request of Chi-Chi, of all people, Goku and Piccolo go to get their driver's license. And this is while they were training to fight the androids. So Goku and Piccolo go off and fight, or Goku and Piccolo go off to get their driver's license, and during their driver's test, they go and have a little race. It took Goku multiple tries to get his driver's license. This is the only filler episode on my list, but it's a damn sure funny one. This is definitely the funniest episode of Dragon Ball Z, mostly due to the fact that it focuses more on comedy and less on the action. Sure, Dragon Ball Z is known more for being an action-based show, and, well, the rest of my entries do show the action, but this is the one true episode of the series that demonstrate its comedy well. Number 9 on my list is Dragon Ball Z Episode 30 and Episode 31. Episode 30, Goku vs. Vegeta, and Episode 31, Saiyan Sai's Secret. This is basically based around the original Goku and Vegeta fight. And, well, it's hard not to deny that this fight is legendary. The original Goku and Vegeta fight, this was before Vegeta turned into the Great Ape. This is just the first half of the fight. Everyone always talks about the first half of the Goku and Vegeta fight. Not talking about the Great Ape Vegeta part that happens where Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe come in, but the first half between Goku and Vegeta. And we see ki blasts, punching, kicking, all that good stuff that you see in a Dragon Ball fight. So, basically, this is the fight that definitely started the Dragon Ball Z formula of great Dragon Ball Z fights. Moving on to my number 8, and my boy Piccolo takes the spot in these 2 episodes. Episode 148, the monster is here, and Episode 149, he's here. This is centered around Piccolo's fight around fighting Android 17. Basically, to buy time so that Cell basically won't be able to destroy, or basically be able to absorb the androids to obtain his perfect form. But the fight between Piccolo and 17 is awesome. These 2 episodes, I love these 2 episodes mostly for that fight. Basically, Episode 148 is the first half of the Piccolo and 17 fight, and Episode 149 is the second half, and I love both these episodes, and that's why I lumped them on here. So yeah, Episode 148 and Episode 149. Number 7 is Dragon Ball Z Episode 87, The Ultimate Battle. This takes place on Namek. Basically, this is the first half of the fight between Goku and Frieza. Basically, Goku and Frieza are feeling each other out. We see, these 2 make moves against each other. We're seeing these 2 trade blows, and we see that the first half of the fight, they're equally matched, and, we see how the fight continues on for more episodes, but this isn't the only episode that features the fight between Goku and Frieza. This is just the beginning of the Goku and Frieza fight. Number 6, Dragon Ball Z Episode 191, Save the World. This is the final battle between Gohan and Cell, the conclusion to the fight between Gohan and Cell, and it is awesome. This episode, if you haven't watched it, you should see it. Basically, this has the epic beam struggle between Gohan and Cell as they both are firing Kamehamehas at each other. Goku and Gohan, you're like, Goku is like instructing Gohan to unleash his true power. The Z fighters are interfering in Cell, basically helping Gohan out, and we even see Vegeta get the best shot in this episode. And Gohan finally has the courage to defeat Cell. Of course, many people say that after this saga, the Buu saga happened, and it kind of undoes Gohan's victory, which is still stupid in its own right, but still, it was still an awesome episode nonetheless. Number 5 is Dragon Ball Z Episode 95, Transformed at Last, and Episode 96, Explosion of Anger. This is covering the portion of the series where Goku first transformed into a Super Saiyan. I wanted to include this on here personally because of the fact that Goku turns Super Saiyan after watching Krillin die, and after he watches his best friend be blown up by an intergalactic tyrant, we see Goku's anger show itself and manifest with the Super Saiyan transformation. And this transformation is downright awesome. And the fight itself was awesome. Or shall I say, when Frieza gets intimidated and Goku is like beating the crap out of him, and Goku, delivering that heroic speech. I love these two episodes, and I just say you gotta check them out to see them, to believe them. Moving on to number 4 is Dragon Ball Z Episode 245, Super Saiyan 3. Possibly the only Buu Saga, basically the only Buu Saga entry on my list. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate the Buu Saga, but this is my favorite episode. Super Saiyan 3, and it's a really awesome one, as Super Saiyan 3 Goku is fighting against Buu, basically to buy time for Trunks to get the Dragon Radar from Capsule Corp, and quote-unquote, make it back to Kami's lookout. It's still an awesome episode, and then it's followed up by Dragon Ball Z Episode 246, which is Buu's Mutiny, but I like 245 just as much because of the fact that we first see Goku's transformation, and, it's got that awesome music with him first transforming into Super Saiyan 3. It's awesome. So, number 3 is Dragon Ball Z Episode 135 and 136, Deadly Beauty and No Match for the Androids. Basically, Androids 17 and 18 display their power well, and they basically beat the crap out of the Z Fighters. They kick the ever-loving fuck out of them. The Z Fighters get fucked up, and it is glorious. It is glorious! It is just awesome how these androids show how powerful they are in this episode, just taking out the Z Fighters one by one, except for Krillin. Krillin basically gives the Z Fighters senzu beans, but we see how powerful the androids truly are. At number 2 is Dragon Ball Z Episode 178, Cell's Bag of Tricks. This is the second episode of the fight between Goku and Cell. Not Gohan, Goku. And Goku and Cell's the second episode, Cell's Bag of Tricks, we see Goku and Cell, going past their warm-up, and now we see Cell display his full bag of tricks on display against Goku here, as we see him use the multi-form technique, the Gyanzon disc, the special beam cannon all against Goku. Like, a lot of good stuff on this episode, like seeing Goku taking on the multi-form technique of Cell when Cell does Tien's multi-form and multiplying himself. It's awesome and very entertaining. And it's a good episode. And finally, at my number 1 episode of Dragon Ball Z of all time is Episode 194, Free the Future. Basically the ending of the Trunks/Cell saga. It is basically the ending of the entire saga as a whole. That is the arc of of Cell slash the androids. Basically, in this episode, Trunks finally goes back to the future to settle things once and for all, using what he has learned in the past. Basically, he goes back to the future and destroys the androids. He goes back and destroys Android 17 and 18. Then in the second half of the episode, at its very conclusion, faces off against the Imperfect Cell and kills Imperfect Cell. It's a great episode, and I recommend it. So, overall, Dragon Ball Z as a whole will always be one of those action anime that remain close to my heart when it comes to me thinking about the best of Toonami. I obviously say that Toonami wouldn't be where it was without Dragon Ball Z, and without the Dragon Ball franchise as a whole. Now I know they had a lot of other series that they've aired in the 90s and 2000s, but Dragon Ball was just one of their quote-unquote, their franchises slash key players. And, well, yeah. This has been your Digital Super Saiyan 3, and I'll see you next time.